Hey you, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
All right. So for all of my friends out there that don't know where the safest place to be when the zombie apocalypse happens, it's on the Delacroix side of this zombie gate right here. As you can see on both sides, they got this place on lockdown. You got the Gulf of Mexico keeping them from getting you on one side and that zombie gate on the other. Yeah, I want to be on this side of it.
I'm sure that that's not what it's actually for. It's not actually a zombie gate. I don't know its actual intention, but I can dig it.
Y'all seen this right here? These dudes in Chicago, they find an actual underground fallout shelter. It's like a whole city. It's got a bank. It's got everything. Watch this. Blows your mind. Like, no joke.
Okay, I've heard of the Chicago Pedway, and it's supposedly like a little, area. Well, it's not little, it's huge area down underground Chicago. And there's like shops and like clubs and a gym and things like that, from what I've heard. But I don't think that's where they were necessarily. Maybe there was a few shops or something that were closed down, and they're like, oh, look through this. Let's go through it and pretend that we found this underground. But when they lifted up the thing and you look under, there's like scaffolding and stuff, and then suddenly he's going down a spiral staircase. So I think that was edited, but I've heard that there is, underground city kind of thing going on in Chicago, which is kind of cool.
Helen Keller wasn't real.
She wrote 14 books and over 475 speeches and essays. Helen Keller wrote 14 books? She learned to read and write and speak through finger spelling, braille, and touching people's... Braille? I said braille! Braille! How do you learn braille if no one can, teach you what the braille means? In 1946, she flew a plane for... Get the fuck out of here! She flew that plane? Hold on, that changes everything. She apparently beat up her teacher and knocked her teeth out? This brawls too? I just can't really wrap my head around her becoming so intelligent that she wrote 14 books, flew a plane, and beat the out of the person who taught her how to do that.
The more I hear about this Helen Keller potentially being like a fraud, it just makes me feel a little more like maybe we were duped. Maybe she was just like a poster child for, I don't know, the can-do attitude or something like that. But I feel like a lot of this stuff maybe was just assigned to her for that purpose. Unless she was some freaking phenom that learned how to read Braille without knowing what these words are or what it means or anything like that. It's just, the more I think about it, the less I believe it.
Congress shall now vote for approval of H.R. 8791, the Homeland Terrorism Preparedness Bill. Said bill requests emergency response funding up to and including, this section is classified, dollars to prepare for a national level terrorist attack and or attack from classified. Funding for first responder personnel and vehicles would be doubled if said attack leads to more than 80% of national population being affected by classified. This funding shall commence in conjunction with the first attack on classified or the first large-scale outbreak of classified, dependent upon which comes first. Civilian and military units shall be trained in containment and combat of classified, including irradiated classified with possibility of classified airborne, classified flesh-eating, classified, and or all of the above in such event as classified spewing, classified escape, are released or otherwise become uncontrollable. Air Force units may also be directed to combat said classified due to their enormous size and otherworldly strength. Should event occur in urban areas, Jesus, that's classified, far surpassing our darkest nightmares. Should casualties exceed classified body disposal actions, shall be halted and associated resources shall be reallocated to classified underground, classified protected birthing centers. A new Bill of Rights shall be drafted and approved by classified. Having now reviewed the bill, I ask you to please cast your vote.
So do we think it's aliens or zombies? Either way, they need a classified amount of money to protect classified from classified while they classified birthing centers and classified.
Unbelievably, President Vladimir Putin in 2013 made Tartaria maps public, and in 2017 he also gave a map created by William Blah of Tartaria to the former president of Tatarstan, also known as Tartaria. So how did William Blah have such a clear picture of this country if it didn't exist? We learn about the famous Egypt, the Persian Empire, the Ottoman or Roman empires, but all of this history is small in comparison to the Tartarian Empire, unless it isn't true and it's just a myth or a story. But you can find too many documents that state this region certainly did exist. The landmass and territory called Tartary and Great Tartary was an historical location in northern Asia that existed between the Caspian Sea, the Ural Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Tartary was a blanket term used by Europeans for the areas of central, northern and eastern Asia, as these parts were largely unknown to European explorers. This is why the entire geographic territory was known simply as Tartary, and its inhabitants were called Tartars.
The maps exist, the land exists, and it was once called Tartaria. Then they were Tartars or Tartarians. There's knowledge somewhere. There's got to be information somewhere, and I really wish we knew. It's one of those great mysteries that it would be so nice to know why it had to be removed from history. What happened? Was there like a war that happened and we're just like covered up? I mean, I don't know. It sucks not to know. But what are you going to do?
Is this card game warning us of the future? The card game was released in the 1990s, and it seemed to predict world events with startling accuracy. The card game included references to events such as 9/11, natural disasters, and even the pandemic. This card game was called the Illuminati New World Order. Many believe that this card game was created by the Illuminati themselves as a way to communicate their plans to the world. Others believe that it was just a coincidence, but with so many events seemingly predicted by this game, it's hard to ignore the eerie similarities. Some say that the Illuminati used symbols and secret messages to communicate with each other, and this card game may be one such example. But whether it's fact or fiction, one thing is for sure. The Illuminati and their alleged plans for a new world order remain shrouded in mystery and intrigue.
When I first looked it up, I didn't think that it was what it actually is. I didn't know that these were like from the 80s and that they kind of depict things that are going on now or have gone on since their creation, which is pretty interesting. But I mean, a lot of books and stuff can do that. But then again, maybe these Illuminati, since they're like this super secret, society of people anyway, maybe they have like, I don't know, time travel or something.
I could totally draw it, but everybody on this app would make fun of me, and I wouldn't blame them. So I'm just going to insert a photo of what he looks like under the skin suit.
Wow. Yeah, Kenneth Copeland kind of does look like he might be a reptilian. I have a huge problem with televangelists and faith healers and stuff like that. I mean, if you believe that your faith is healing you, that's wonderful, because believing it, is really, really important, because you are able to heal yourself of certain things, But these people, these televangelists, I've learned that they're just out for your money, and they prey on people and their faith. And thinking about that wouldn't surprise me if there was some reptilian in there. That was crazy. That was crazy.
In 1986, someone bought an IBM copier at a second-hand sale. And when they got it home, they found inside a very thick document, which obviously shouldn't have been there, called Quiet Weapons, or rather Silent Weapons for a Quiet War. And this described a policy of mass public mind control that has been orchestrated on the people of the world, particularly the Western world, since the 1950s. See if, I'll just read you a little bit of it, see if you recognize the world this document is describing. Experience has proven that the simplest method of securing a silent weapon and gaining control of the public is to keep the public undisciplined and ignorant of basic systems principles on the one hand, while keeping them confused, disorganized, and distracted with matters of no real importance on the other hand. This is achieved by 1. Disengaging their minds, sabotaging their mental activities, providing a low-quality program of education in mathematics, logic, systems design, and economics, and discouraging technical creativity. 2. Engaging their emotions, increasing their self-indulgence and their indulgence in emotional and physical activities by A, unrelenting emotional affrontations and attacks, brackets mental and emotional rape, by way of a constant barrage of sex, violence and wars in the media, especially the TV and the newspapers. B, giving them what they desire, in excess, junk food for thought, and depriving them of what they really need. 3, rewriting history and law and subjecting public opinion to the deviant creation, which I take to mean don't tell them who they really are, thus being able to shift their thinking from personal needs to highly fabricated outside priorities. These preclude their interest in and discovery of the silent weapons of social automation technology. The general rule, it says, is that there is profit in confusion. The more confusion, the more profit. Therefore, the best approach is to create problems and then offer solutions. Diversion summary. Media. Keep the adult public attention diverted away from real social issues and captivated by matters of no real importance. Does that describe our media today or what? Schools. Keep the young public ignorant of real mathematics, real economics, real law, and real history. Entertainment. Keep the public entertainment below a 6th grade level. Work. Keep the public busy, 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 with no time to think, back on the farm with the other animals.
That certainly is how it is, isn't it? Especially in California and blue states, excuse me, but here you have to keep working. You have to be a mindless drone in order to just get by. Unless you're already freaking wealthy, everybody, 99.9% of the population here is just constantly working to get by. And it's unfortunate. It does take your mind away from anything else. You're just constantly focusing on how to get through this. So while that's happening, you're distracted to what else is going on. It's incredible. And even the children, I mean, you saw I've posted a couple of videos about the grade scale now. You know, it was like, what, 72% and up is an A? How absolutely ridiculous is that? 72% should be a C. And it's just, it's uncanny how how much our society resembles this supposedly found document. On that note, I'm going to call it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things, and it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day. Oh, the pickles. I never made it to the store, so I didn't check on the pickles thing. I'm sorry. But still, have a wonderful day.